One of the most important things you can learn in life is to love yourself exactly the way you are. There is just nothing more important than having a truly loving connection with yourself. The problem is that when you don't love yourself, you can do 1,000 nice things and you can have all the material good in the world, but you will not feel satisfied if you don't start with the most essential part. Feeling satisfied within yourself for who you are. I can know this because for over 30 years I didn't really have a good connection with myself. Yes, I enjoyed myself, but there was always something missing that I tried to fill up with something outside of myself. This is never going to give you the feeling of true satisfaction and fulfillment in life. The problem is that you will always try to find something different to do or to buy to give you the feeling of satisfaction. In this video I'm gonna share one of the most important lessons that I've ever learned and that most people will never learn in their life. What most people believe is that the things outside of themselves give them the feelings that they feel inside. It could, for instance, be that you go for dinner and you feel joy. It could also be that someone says something painful to you and you feel bad. Or it could be, for instance, that you buy something new and you feel shortly satisfied. Or, for instance, it could be that you drive in traffic, someone pulls up closely in front of you and you get angry. Most people believe that these outside factors are the cause of how they feel on the inside. But the truth is that these things are nothing but triggers that trigger a feeling or an emotion inside of yourself. There is an incredibly big difference between the two. What actually happens is that there is an outside trigger that triggers something inside of yourself. You feel, for instance, bad or good. What you might think is that the emotion might come from what just happened. But the emotion actually comes from your inner world. You have had throughout your life certain experiences, certain painful ones, maybe certain positive ones, and the combination of all these things together make you feel and react the way that you do. This also explains why someone else in exactly the same situation feels and reacts completely different. It could, for instance, be that you get really angry in traffic in that situation, and your best friend might not even react and just think by himself, ooh, maybe that person has to go to his mother in hospital. It doesn't make the situation good. It's never good to make a dangerous situation in traffic, but it makes a huge difference in the way that you feel and experience life. If it would be the outside factor that would make you feel the way that you do, both people should feel the same in the same situation. When you start to understand this, your complete life changes, and that is because you start looking to find the emotions in yourself. You stop giving your power away to outside factors. When something happens that makes you feel bad, you stop blaming and you ask yourself, what got just triggered inside of myself? You don't have to say that what has happened is okay, but what you do look at is why you feel bad on the inside. In yourself is the key to solve that feeling, so that when it happens another time, you don't feel bad anymore and you get every time a little bit more in your power. In the self-love course that I've just launched, we go also deeper into this in one of the weeks because it's such an important thing to understand. In the description below I will put a link to this course if you're interested in a step-by-step guide to learn to love yourself more. When you are aware or notice what is inside of you, you get a choice to do something with it or not. When you, for instance, feel bad when a friend criticizes you, you can just notice that it makes you feel bad and then ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Someone else might not even notice it. It could be, for instance, that you feel bad because you always had to stand up for yourself in your family. Now that you're aware, you have the choice to start changing it. You could ask yourself then if the same counts for positive emotions, like enjoying the things that you like doing. I believe that it is very important to do these things and also enjoy them. What is important to understand though is that the joy is already inside of yourself and gets triggered by the thing that you do. This means that you can also feel the joy already by yourself and that you're not have to be dependent on the outside trigger. You can even do it right now. Just try to feel for a moment, for instance, joyful, or try to feel gratitude. When you think of joy, you can feel this, and when you feel grateful as well, it's already in you. When you use this the right way, you're not dependent anymore of the things that you do to make you feel good. Otherwise, you will live a life where you will feel good when something nice happens and you will always feel bad when something bad happens. You're dictated by the outer circumstances that happen. If we look from this perspective at self-love, we can also already find this love in ourselves. What I've seen on my journey is that we all have an innate love inside of ourselves. And what we often do is try to get this love from outside factors like our partner and our close surrounding. What we overlook is that we have this love already inside of ourselves and that we also can give it to ourselves. Even if you have the feeling that you cannot love like me in the past, there is love inside of you. The only problem is that it can be blocked by past painful experiences. I, for instance, didn't grow up in a family where it was normal to say to each other that we loved each other. And because of it, I could not connect the feeling with the word and I thought that I could not love. There are many things that can block this. When you start understanding that it is a feeling inside of yourself that can be learned again, you can start working on becoming more loving towards yourself. In my own experience, it are especially painful experiences from the past that stop you from telling loving things to yourself and feeling it. This old programming stops you from loving yourself. Now comes the most interesting thing, and that is that one of the only ways to make new habits is by reprogramming your subconscious mind. This counts when you, for instance, want to learn a sport or play the piano for the first time, and it also counts when you want to feel more self-love and tell yourself more loving things. I have worked over 10 years on creating more love for myself and others, and what I've found out is that one of the most powerful ways to learn this is by repetition. So by repeating, for instance, positive affirmations or repeatedly doing meditations for your heart chakra. And there are a lot of people that think that you can just out of a sudden completely love yourself, but the only thing is that it takes repetition and practice to learn something new. And when you make a new habit and when you learn this, you will benefit from it your entire life. What I have found out is that the most powerful way to change this is through a practice that I call living from your heart. You intensify the connection with your heart by doing heart meditations. It can be as simple as placing your hands on your heart, connecting with your heart, feeling in your heart and taking deep, calm breaths into your heart. I would recommend doing this not only once a day, but just take a couple of moments where you practice this. It can be sitting, it can be standing, it really doesn't matter. And by doing so, you do not only activate your heart and the innate love that is inside of yourself, but you also work on reprogramming your subconscious to more loving thoughts and feelings. As second thing, you start working with repetition at a more loving communication with yourself by using affirmations that are aimed at love. You can, for instance, every morning stand in front of the mirror and tell yourself that you love yourself and that you are worthy of receiving your own love. What you can even do is, after you've said it, close your eyes and imagine yourself going through your day in connection with your heart, giving yourself kindness. Also, in our self-love course, we use these methods, and we even go a step further by using a couple of very powerful healing methods to take deep-sitting, negative inner beliefs out and replacing them with positive new ones. Within 6 weeks, you make a huge step forward towards your most loving self. So if you're interested in doing this step by step with guidance, have a look at the link in the description. When you become more loving towards yourself, your entire life quality changes. In my own experience, you step much more in your own strength, and you don't only feel much more love for yourself, but also for everything around you. On my YouTube channel, I also have a couple of free meditations and videos about connecting more with your heart, and I will also share these in the description below. I hope that this video inspired you to ongoingly work on loving yourself more, because it's so worth it. If you liked the video, please write a comment and like the video. As mentioned, I will place the link to my self-love course in the description below. If you're interested in future videos about self-development and spiritual development, subscribe to my channel. And if you're interested in the most powerful way to open your heart chakra, have a look at this video. And for the rest, I wish you an amazing day with an open heart and hope to see you in one of my future videos.